I'm going to show you how to build a God tier cybersecurity resume for exactly $0. This resume is highly optimized for both ATS, like automated resume scanners, as well as human reviewers. This resume has been vetted and field tested quite a bit. It's the same resume that I use in both my IT and hands-on cybersecurity courses, and we've had quite a bit of success with it. I'll put a link to it in the top comment in the description of this video, so go ahead and open it up, make a copy of it, and follow along. And before we get started, I'll be doing another $25 Amazon gift card giveaway, so if you'd like a chance to win that, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with the word cyber in it somewhere. This may sound really obvious, but your resume is really important, and it serves as one of the 12 pillars of employment. If you haven't heard me talk about this before, the 12 pillars of employment, aka your 12 stats, are kind of 12 areas that you need to be aware of and think about when you're trying to job hunt and break into IT, cybersecurity, or almost any other profession. And again, this may sound really obvious, but the quality of your resume is what results in people actually contacting you for interviews. You can kind of think about it like a thumbnail for a YouTube video. You can have the best YouTube video in the world, but if your thumbnail is bad, nobody's going to click on it and nobody's going to watch it. Likewise, you can be the best cybersecurity professional with all the skill in the world, but if you have a bad resume, it's really going to hurt you when it comes to finding a job. And I really took care to keep those things in mind when designing this resume template. So getting right into things, here's the resume template we're going to talk about and analyze. Again, feel free to grab a copy of this in the description or the top pinned comment. After analyzing this template and explaining everything about it, I'm going to show you what a completely filled out copy of this looks like for someone who's only ever worked at McDonald's and Walmart. Not that McDonald's and Walmart are bad, but I just want to drive the point home. You can make a great cybersecurity resume regardless of your work history. So getting right into things, this kind of introduction block up here, I see a lot of times where people will put all of this in line, kind of all in the same line, but I find this is not really optimal for ATS, that's application tracking system. So I kind of recommend stacking it like this with your phone number, your email address, and I do recommend including a portfolio like your GitHub portfolio in your resume. Make sure the actual name of your portfolio is something that makes sense. And if you don't know how to make a portfolio, in this comment over here, I put a link to a video that talks about how to create a portfolio. And then I do recommend putting your LinkedIn profile up here as well. And make sure you're using a custom link or a custom URL. Don't make it something like, Josh 215394-7. Make it like, proper like LinkedIn /in/ Josh Madakor or whatever your name is. Next, I tend to like putting education and certifications toward the top. This is because they're super easy for humans to digest. You don't have to go through and kind of read everything like word by word. You can just eyeball it and get a sense for what they have. So if you have any college, like community college or anything, of course, I recommend putting it up here. But if you don't have any college at all, I do recommend you take some like free course or something from MITx or edX and just put it up here just so you have something to go in your education section. It's way better to have something in here like this than nothing at all. And for your certification section, even if you don't have CompTIA Security Plus, I do recommend putting actually start studying for it, but actually put it in your resume and then put an expected date that's, like 2 months from the day you created your resume or something like this. This is good for ATS because the application tracking system may pick this up and be like, oh, this person like has Security Plus or whatever the ATS is thinking. And if a human sees it, they can at least be aware like, oh, they're studying for CompTIA Security Plus. That's great. And if you have it, obviously, you don't need this expected thing. But I do recommend putting this and then start using like Professor Messer or something just to start studying for it, just so, it can be legit and everything. And the next is the Google Cybersecurity Professional Certification. This cert is quite good, actually. I have another video talking about it, but it is possible to get this whole certification for free. It's delivered through Coursera, so if you sign up and somehow complete the whole cert in 7 days or less and then cancel your account, you just have a free cert. Otherwise, it's like, I think $49 a month until you complete it. So this one's really good. I would consider doing this. Next one, the FEMA Incident Command System. That's NIMS ICS 100. This is a free course and free certification offered by FEMA. My CISO, that's the Chief Information Security Officer at my previous job, had all of us get this certification. It kind of teaches you how incident response is conducted at like a really high level. Like if there's a large natural disaster or some kind of like large incident, it teaches you how to deal with that and how incidents are worked. And there's a lot of overlap between this and then computer incidents, so it's just kind of a good thing to have on your resume. And then the last one is a Qualys vulnerability management course/certification. This is also free, and it just teaches you basics and how to go about doing vulnerability management, which is really important for cybersecurity. And it's really great to have these on your resume as opposed to nothing at all. So consider getting these. And then next, I do recommend having a project section so you can kind of showcase some of the things you've done and worked on that's related to IT or cybersecurity. If you don't know what projects to do, I kind of made a comment over here that shows my course, and it shows other project ideas that are free. This is a YouTube video, as well as another link down here on how to make a portfolio. So this particular project that I wrote about in here, this is like something that we do inside of my cybersecurity course. Even if you don't buy that course, you can watch the QA about it, and then you can kind of emulate some of the stuff that I do in the course for yourself for free, and then kind of put it on your resume under the project section. This is super, super useful and super important, because when you finally actually get the interview and you're on like your Zoom call or whatever, and somebody asks you about something, you can be like, oh, actually, I've done a project kind of related to that. Do you mind if I share my screen with you for a second? And then you can kind of open up your project and walk them through it. And this is really, really good and really impressive for hiring managers. And it just makes you stand out a lot. So it's really important to have this section in here. And the next section, which is really, really huge, the experience section, like how can you get experience without having experience first? So it turns out there's like a couple different ways to do this. Because this resume is the one that I use in my course and I have the students use it, option A would be like if you're in the course, you go through the course and you opt for the internship opportunity. That's basically you tell me, okay, I want to do an internship. And then you fill out this template and send it to me, and you kind of help other students with their security configs and help them when they get stuck in the course. And then you end up with something like this on your resume where you have like my company, you use me as a reference, and then you can put, cybersecurity support engineer intern or whatever title you achieved. But if you don't go through the course, you can pretty much have this same thing here, but you would have to, I'd recommend, opening up a company or doing kind of your own thing and publishing a bunch of content about it, like maybe teaching people how to do stuff. And then instead of, my company, you would put like whatever your company is, or like content creator or something like this, publish blogs, and just put this on your resume like this. And it's legit. If someone gave this to me and they had actual stuff that I could review, like blogs or YouTube videos or portfolio, and it all kind of matched what you have here, as somebody who hires people, I would be super happy to hear that, and it would make you stand out from other candidates. So super important to have something like this on your resume. And then the remainder of the experience section, I won't talk about this too much here because I'll show you what this looks like on an actual resume that's been completed, not just the template. But I would recommend putting something that looks something like this, company title, and then at least 3 responsibilities, and put metrics in them if possible. Again, I'll kind of show you what this looks like. And then for your subsequent experience, I don't really recommend listing out everything you did in your past experience, especially if it's not really related. You could just summarize it up into a single sentence, just like a quick blurb about what you did for the job, just to kind of save some real estate on your resume. And then lastly, the skills and technology section, I just kind of use this to dump keywords in for specific jobs that I'm applying for. So for example, there's a security engineer job I found on LinkedIn. I might copy the job description and dump it in ChatGPT and say something like, create me a list of keywords that I can use for my resume based off this job description. And it will probably dump something out that looks something like this, and then you can just paste it in here, assuming you have some familiarity with those skills that it spits out. And then next, we're going to look at a completely filled out version of this, like what it will look like for, somebody who's worked at McDonald's and Walmart. I'm not going to talk about it in too much depth, but you can just kind of eyeball it here. My GitHub, my LinkedIn. So for example, this is my GitHub. I just pasted the link in here. Your employer could look at it if they wanted to, and they could, look at your projects. LinkedIn here, I'm not going to click on that, but you can if you want. Say that I didn't have any education, so I just took a couple of classes from MITx. Again, infinitely better than having nothing here at all or just high school. Certifications, the same thing we kind of talked about before. Projects, same thing. This is an actual project that I use for my cyber course. Like, we don't have to look at it too much, but it just kind of outlines some of the stuff we did in the project, and it's, really cool for employers to look at. Looking at the experience, nothing changed from this. This is kind of the same thing as on the last section. and then company. So say I worked at McDonald's and I was a shift lead, and I just came up with this stuff from ChatGPT. You can see this comment over here on the corner. I just went to ChatGPT and I said, please give me some bullet points for a resume working at McDonald's, make the bullet points quantifiable, blah, blah, blah. And then ChatGPT spit this out and I just pasted it in here. I'm not really an ethical person when it comes to job hunting, so this is definitely something I would do. I would just be prepared to be able to speak to it if somebody asked me about it. And then here's my Walmart experience. Again, you'll notice I didn't put a whole bunch of bullet points down here. I just made something really succinct again with ChatGPT. Please give me a sentence summarizing, an entry-level loss position at Walmart, include quantifiable metric. And this is essentially what it came out with. So I just dumped it in here. And then again, this is the rest of the skills and technologies. Nothing much changed here. And then getting into how to make this thing yours, all you have to do is basically go to file and then make a copy and then, name it whatever you want. And all the stuff on here that's red, this is stuff that I kind of intended for you to change, right? To make it match like what you're actually doing. So, go through and make this match what you're doing, like create your profile, create your GitHub portfolio and all this stuff. And then just, make sure to change it to red, right? And then you can essentially just download this as a PDF. You can go to File, Download PDF, and then you can just start using it and applying to jobs and getting those sweet interviews. I'll put some free practice questions for CompTIA Security Plus, as well as some CISSP practice questions down in the description. Definitely check out my course. Had a lot of success with it. A lot of people have gotten jobs with both the IT and cybersecurity course, whole bunch of testimonials. So definitely check that out. Don't forget to comment with the word cyber in it down below for a chance to win your $25 free Amazon gift card. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.